Team 006, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Center of the universe. Hey, good morning. Just want to take a minute, talk to you all about a couple things that are on my mind, is knowing that this is probably the last time I'm going to be able to address you here from the ledge. Marshall Hall at Fort Bragg. First of all, probably most importantly, I want you to know it's been the honor of a lifetime as a soldier to be the quarterback of this team. And as we move into the future, a couple things I want to remind you about in terms of where we've been is we project a future and shape a future for all of us, for our families, for our friends, for our fellow citizens, and in fact for everybody living on planet Earth. 4 years ago, we stood down there on the parade field and talked to this entire team about where we were going and who we were and how we're going to get to where we needed to be. Talked a lot about what does it mean to be a soldier, to take an oath, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and bear true faith and allegiance to the same. Talked a lot about the soldier's creed. What's that mean when we serve the people of the United States? What does it mean when we protect and defend the American way of life? We've talked about opportunity, we've talked about rule of law, we've talked about a lot of stuff over the last 4 years. But here's what we did over the last 4 years. Over the last 4 years, this team, America's Army Reserve, built and is now sustaining the most capable, combat-ready, and lethal Federal Reserve Force in the history of the United States of America. You did it. You did it. My responsibility as the leader of this team is to do a couple things. One, lead with love. Two, be present. Three, unleash the power of the team. Remind the team of what our mission is, and in every day, in every way, model infectious enthusiasm. So that all the way through an organization, that the team understands it is a team. We're working together towards a common goal, coming at it from diverse angles to make sure we're delivering the effects the American people expect us to deliver. And we did that, and we did it over and over and over again. Whether it's responding to events in the homeland, whether it's Hurricane Harvey and flying airplanes from all over the country to go out there and rescue and support our fellow citizens at our time of greatest need, back 3-4 years ago, all the way to last month when we deployed medical capability that never existed before on the face of the earth into hospitals across primarily the northeastern United States. So Detroit, New York, Boston, Connecticut, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, all over the place to get after the COVID-19 crisis that many of our communities were experiencing. And I dare say may experience again as we move into the future. We'll be ready. You did that. And you did it in 2 weeks' time. That's unprecedented in terms of speed, agility, the ability to anticipate the future and prepare for future requirements and get after it. That's RFX. That's all it's ever been. And we're all in it. You're all in it. 4 years ago, when we started talking about RFX, people didn't have a clue what we were talking about, didn't understand it, didn't like it, were afraid of it. It represented change. It represented a different way of looking at readiness, what I would call strategic readiness. But I'm just telling you, RFX and the concept of it really is about agility. It's really about thinking into the future, anticipating a requirement, then organizing yourself today so that if you got to do that thing in the future, you're better prepared to get after it. It sounds easy to say. It's not that easy to do. And there are a lot of leaders, both here in the Pentagon, Fort Belvoir, all members of America's Army Reserve, that worked wicked hard for a long time to get us to a place where we could generate capability out of this component of the Army at the speed of relevance. And I can think of no better example of how RFX materialized into what I call a doctrine than our response to the COVID-19 crisis, the COVID-19 challenge over the last couple months. These urban augmentation medical task forces that we generated out of America's Army Reserve, 15 of them, and then 2 more later, so 17 total, those capabilities never existed in the Army, the Army Reserve, until a couple months ago. We came up with a concept, we named them, we brought them together, we marshaled them together in Army Reserve centers around the country. We gave them a little bit of training, made sure they had the protective equipment that they needed to jump into this fight, and then we deployed them in support of NORTHCOM and Army North in less than 2 weeks' time. Think about that. So that's RFX. That's all it's ever been. It's about generating capability at the speed of relevance to get after whatever the requirement is. So for everybody who thinks it's too expensive, it's too hard, we shouldn't be doing it, I'll just tell you, You go to Stamford, Connecticut, you go to Boston, Massachusetts, you go to downtown New York City, you go to New Jersey, you go to Philadelphia, you go to wherever it is. You go there and you tell them that you don't think that what we did was important. You tell them you think what we did was too expensive. You tell them you think what we did was too hard. See what they say. They'll tell you, we saved lives and we lift the spirits of a nation. You can't buy that. Now, when it comes to deterring adversaries, I'm just telling you, the speed and the agility of this component of the Army sends a massive message to peer competitors around the world that the Army is not just about the active component. It's about the Guard and it's about America's Army Reserve, all tied together as a total Army package. Leaders, as we move into the future, a couple things I just want to talk about for just a minute. I want you to think about them as you lead this formation, you support my successor. I know you're going to keep getting after what we've been getting after, which is making sure that this component of the Army is able to demonstrate day in and day out and live the agility and the readiness that's required to generate deterrence and capability at the speed of relevance. I know you're going to do that. Inside your formations, you got to do what I said. You got to lead with love. You got to be present. I talked a lot recently with a bunch of folks about Army values, and everybody asked me, what do you think is the most important Army value? And I said, at the end of the day, they're all important, right? We all know that. Duty matters, okay? Selfless service is hugely important. Personal courage is massively important. Honor is huge. I said, but number one, I say integrity. Why? Because integrity is more than just being truthful. It's about being authentic. It's about being genuine. It's about being transparent. It's about shooting straight. You got to do that, okay? Some people are better at communicating that than others, but you got to work on it. Your soldiers, your team needs to understand that this is not about you. This is about them. This is about the mission. This is about getting after it. That's how you unleash the power of the team. Don't ever forget that. A lot of people have been asking me, what am I going to do next? Where are we going? What are we going to do? Here's the bottom line. I don't know. Been kind of busy doing this. Told many of you over the last 4 years, everybody thinks that it's really cool to be Double Eagle 6 and lead this component of the Army. And it is, but here's the other deal. Remember, I've told you this before. You're not working for me. Never have been. I'm working for you. Have been for 4 years. So now, when I gotta take a knee here for a little bit and figure out what we're gonna do next, I'm gonna do just that. We're gonna keep hitting the sled. Sent a little note out the other day, got posted on the internet, and hopefully you've seen it. If you haven't, it's about a page and a half long. I encourage you to take a look at it. It talks about the road to awesome. But it talks about our ability and opportunity, and in my view, our responsibility to shape the future for our kids, for our grandchildren, for people we care about, and for people we've never met and never will. Okay, that's important for us to continue to get after that. One of the things I talk about in there is the fact that even though in a few days' time I'm no longer to be the quarterback of this team from a legal perspective, I'm not going to be able to talk to you from this perspective anymore, from the ledge. I want you to know I'll still be out there on the road with you. Okay? People ask me if I retire. I'm not going to retire. Too much to do. Got to keep moving. We're going to keep pressing forward. We keep moving down the road to awesome. We'll keep moving down the road to awesome together. A couple things I want you to remember. Number one, take care of each other. All right? Continue to model what right looks like. Be exemplars, be examples, be role models for your fellow citizens. They need you now more than they've ever needed you. To be able to message across the battle space, across the geography of the United States of America and around the world, what right looks like, how we are able to talk to each other, to disagree civilly, to take care of each other. I put it this way, we got to model for our fellow citizens that it's okay to disagree, all right? But you got to do it civilly, you got to do it in a way that's intellectually disciplined, that's honest, and at the end of the day, you got to be able to message to people with whom you disagree that you still love them. That's hugely important. I acknowledge that these are, I'll just say, challenging times. If you think about it, the civil unrest that's going on in the country right now, the discussions, in some cases the acrimony, the friction, folks, some of it's politics, some of it's just disagreement between folks that come from different backgrounds as they learn to better appreciate and include folks that don't look like them, don't come from the same place, don't have the same native tongue into communities where they can discuss and dialogue and build teams, build speed of trust relationships, all those things. But we're in a tough spot when it comes to some of the things going on in America right now. And then we have the COVID-19, the pandemic, all the implications of that. People ask me, what's the future look like? I'll tell you this, it's ours to shape. Yeah, there's some things we got to do. We got to fight our way through, and as a nation and as an army, and as a team inside America's Army Reserve, cope with, adjust to, adapt, and overcome the implications of COVID-19 and all the things the pandemic has driven us to have to work on. We'll do that. Okay? We're going through a tough time right now. I got it. But you, each and every one of you have the skills you need to be able to deal with this. We've been talking about this for 4 years. Okay? I've talked to you primarily about it in terms of fitness. I've talked about it in terms of intellectual fitness, understanding the environment, shaping your environment as best you can. I've talked to you about spiritual fitness. And then the last one, believe it or not, it sounds mundane, but it's not. Physical fitness matters. It relieves stress, it gives you confidence, you can get out there. No matter what else is going on in the world, no matter how complicated, complex, and ambiguous it is, if you can do some PT, clear your head, feel good about it, sky's blue, birds are chirping, it's okay. Get after it. Last 4 years, you have demonstrated, we have all demonstrated as a team, our ability to change a narrative, to shape the future. We did it with RFX, we did it with COVID-19. We did it responding to floods and storms and all kinds of stuff in the homeland, and by deploying capabilities all around the world to support not only the Army and the warfighter, but our allies and partners around the globe. And America's Army Reserve is going to continue to do that. Done a fantastic job, and I'm extraordinarily proud of you. I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of everything you've done. I'm proud of everything you're going to do, because you have demonstrated your ability to project capability into the future and to shape it. Families. I talk about this a little bit in the note, and I talk about, Julie and AKA Iron Dome. I would not be able to talk to you today as a quarterback of this team if it weren't for her support for me for all these years, for our kids' support for me for all these years, and all the other family members out there that have supported me, have supported this team. Okay, that's true for all of you, and I've talked to many of you about this before. None of us would be able to serve in an all-volunteer force if people who love us, who care about us, are willing to share us with the Army and with the American people. And I'll just say it this way. On behalf of Julie Luckey, to all the family members out there, know how much we appreciate deeply your commitment to the American people, to the United States Army, and to America's Army Reserve. We could not do this without you. We will not do this without you. And for all of the employers out there that have continued to share the best talent in the world with me as Double Eagle 6, the quarterback of this team, I'll just tell you what I've said many times. You are part of the national security fabric of the United States of America. And you are a member of this team because you are supporting a soldier who is, at the end of the day, is a member of the coolest component of the United States Army. That'd be America's Army Reserve. This is your Army Reserve. We appreciate your support. You keep pounding. Double Eagle 6, off the net.